Hi there, my name is Ari Gold. I'm the Guinness World Record holder for air drumming. It's true. And I directed an independent movie called Adventures of Power, which Neil Peart was in, which is the story of a copper miner named Power who saves his dying town by air drumming to Rush. While I was writing this little film, I never would have believed that the professor himself would come out of his shell to support it and ultimately become a friend and mentor. So I wanted to share with you all a little bit about my lucky connection to this kind, great man. Getting to work with Neil started sideways, as some of the best things in life do. I went to an air guitar competition and punked the crowd by playing air drums. And it planted a seed in my mind that air drumming looks funny, but was also the perfect metaphor for how when you feel spiritually or politically powerless, which I did, you can find strength in the beat of your own heart. So I set out to make this movie with almost no money and no connections. A summit too lofty, as Neil wrote. I hadn't a clue how I would reach Neil Peart or if he'd be offended, because as everyone who's been to a Rush show knows, there are millions of powers out there air drumming. But as I later found out, he was with us all along.
Totally relates to the air drumming thing. From my 13th birthday on, and I would make these wonderful drum sets out of magazines and then beat the covers off them. And, Power knows. There's no coolness factor there. No. But after I did a drum solo at the variety show and all the kids were buzzing about it, suddenly I had like an inch of cool in my life.
I know it's too late for me to learn to play drums. I can still rock.
So it was wonderful to see that spirit among the people working on this film, that it was so much not only a labor of love for its spark plug, Ari, but for everyone involved. It's something that's paid off, and Ari and I have become friends and have found we have so many other things in common.
We would trade books on all subjects and use the movie itself as a fundraiser for music education for kids. You know, he was a guy who wanted to help the world, but not advertise himself for it. He was a secret philanthropist. And it was amazing because for me, all this started with my older sister when I was 9 years old, bringing home a certain record.
I have such a strong memory of putting on moving pictures for the first time. I felt something go through my body, and this is what eventually became the character of Power.
I guess from the age of about 3, children can reproduce rhythm and feel rhythm. And if you put 2 analog alarm clocks beside each other, they will beat in sync. And 2 heartbeats tick-tock in sync. And like you said, it is a remarkable parallel, Karma, with the character.
Yeah, the character thinks
at
the
movie
beginning.
As a character.
The beginning, he thinks, okay, if I just had a drum set, I would be a man.
I love that little thing you do. I love it's very cute.
People think it's amazing.
My own experience as I was struggling to make the movie was something he really related to. I mean, what happens when things don't go how you planned? Our little movie was attacked at its premiere at Sundance, which seemed like doom and the end of the world for me. I was despondent. I thought my film career was over. But then he reappeared in my life with the help of Don Lombardi and Drum Channel. And he cheered me up with his love for it and helped the audience discover this beautiful and weird little film. And I was just floored that this rock god was so generous that he would do that.
The author Tom Robbins gave me the best advice. He said, I stopped reading reviews early on because if I believed the good ones, I'd have to believe the bad ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And I followed that since. I never read a review. There ought to be a school. Teach you these things.
You learn it the hard way.
We're collecting knowledge and collecting experience and passing it along.
The thing that was so beautiful about Neil was this contrast between his raw power on the drums and gentleness and sweetness of his spirit. You felt peaceful around him. You felt heard. It's crazy. The tragedy always in life is how you process loss. And he had processed very, very heavy loss already. And he had the strength and wisdom about him. So I feel really honored that I was able to share some time on the planet with a true Renaissance man who knew the meaning of the beat of the heart. And deep down, we're all air drummers now.
Music can be a solace, a place to go if you're sad. Yeah, the memorable phrase that Ari uses is, march to the beat of your own drum, even if you don't have one.
Yeah.